Have you ever wondered why some women drain the life out of you instead of adding to it? Why some relationships feel more like battles than partnerships? It often comes down to one thing: value. See, not every woman is worth your time, your attention, or your energy. And it's not about money or looks, it's about character, mindset, and how she treats herself and others. If you want to avoid heartache, wasted years, and constant frustration, you have to learn to spot the signs of a low-value woman. Because trust me, the sooner you identify them, the sooner you protect yourself from disaster. Now, before I get into it, let's be clear. This isn't about bashing women or putting them down. It's about truth. Just like men can be low value, immature, and toxic, the same applies to women. And if you want a high-quality life, you have to be selective about who you allow into it. So let's dive in. The first sign of a low-value woman is constant drama. You'll notice it quickly if you're paying attention. She thrives on chaos. If there's peace, she gets bored. If things are going smoothly, she creates a storm out of nothing. She argues over small things, gossips about friends, complains about family, and always seems to have a new crisis. Ask yourself, does she ever seem calm, centered, and grounded? Or is she addicted to emotional roller coasters? A low-value woman doesn't know how to regulate her emotions. She externalizes them, and anyone near her pays the price. Don't mistake this for passion. It's immaturity disguised as excitement. A high-value woman, on the other hand, knows how to face problems with composure and doesn't drag you into chaos every day. The second sign is a lack of accountability. Low-value women refuse to take responsibility for their actions. Everything is always someone else's fault. If she's late, it's traffic. If she fails, it's because people didn't support her. If a relationship ends, it's because the man was terrible. Never because of her behavior. This victim mindset is a trap, and if you fall for it, she'll pull you down with her. Watch how she talks about her past relationships. Does she ever admit where she went wrong? Or is it always her ex who was the problem? If a woman cannot look in the mirror and own her flaws, she will never grow. And that means she'll repeat the same destructive patterns with you, no matter how much you give. The third sign of a low-value woman is materialism over character. There's nothing wrong with liking nice things, but when her entire focus is on money, status, and what you can provide financially, she's not looking at you as a man, she's looking at you as a wallet. You'll notice this if she constantly brings up what she wants you to buy, if her conversations revolve around luxury, or if she measures success only by how much you spend on her. A low-value woman attaches her worth to external things, not inner qualities. And the danger is this: once someone with more money or status shows up, her loyalty shifts. A high-value woman appreciates what you do, but she values your presence, character, and vision above material gain. The fourth sign is disrespect. Pay close attention to how she speaks to you. And not just when things are good, but when things don't go her way. Does she insult you, belittle you, or talk down to you in public? A low-value woman uses disrespect as a weapon because deep down she lacks respect for herself. She might test you at first, but if every disagreement turns into a verbal attack, you need to recognize the red flag. Respect is the foundation of any healthy relationship. Without it, nothing else matters. A woman who truly values herself and her partner will disagree respectfully, not destroy with her words. The fifth sign is lack of ambition. A low-value woman is comfortable staying stagnant. She has no goals, no vision, and no drive to better herself. She might be fun in the moment, but when you think long-term, you realize she brings nothing to the table beyond temporary excitement. Relationships should be about growth, both of you pushing each other higher. But if she has no direction, she'll eventually pull you off yours. A high-value woman, even if she doesn't have everything figured out, at least has the mindset to keep growing. She doesn't sit around waiting for life to happen. She's building her own version of success. The sixth sign is emotional manipulation. Low-value women are experts at guilt-tripping, gaslighting, and twisting things around to always make themselves the victim. You'll hear things like, "If you really loved me, you'd do this," or "You're making me feel crazy." Instead of healthy communication, she uses tactics to control you emotionally. This is dangerous because over time, you start doubting yourself, second-guessing your instincts, and losing your sense of identity. That's how low-value women trap men into toxic cycles. The truth is, love should never feel like manipulation. If you feel drained after every argument, ask yourself why. Chances are she's pulling the strings behind the scenes. Now, these are just the first 6 signs, but let's pause and reflect for a moment. The key pattern with low-value women is this: they take more than they give. They drain instead of build. They focus on external appearances instead of internal growth. And while they may be attractive on the outside, their behaviors eventually poison any relationship they're in. The tragedy is that many men ignore the signs because they're blinded by beauty, lust, or the fear of being alone. But here's the truth: a beautiful face can't cover an ugly character. And if you stay with a low-value woman, you will pay the price with your peace, your progress, and maybe even your purpose. So, what should you do when you notice these signs? The answer is simple but not easy. Walk away. Don't argue. Don't try to fix her. Don't hope she'll magically change. That's not your job. Your job is to recognize value, protect your energy, and align yourself with people who help you grow. Because the woman you choose can either multiply your life or drain it dry. And if she shows these low-value traits consistently, she's not the one to build with. In the next part, we're going to go even deeper. I'll share how to spot these signs early, sometimes within the first few dates, and I'll also show you how to raise your own standards so you naturally attract high-value women instead of wasting time with the wrong ones. Remember this: a low-value woman is only dangerous if you ignore the signs. Once you learn to see clearly, you'll never fall for the trap again. In the first part, we broke down 6 powerful signs that reveal when a woman is low value. But recognizing these signs isn't enough. You also need to understand how to catch them early. Most men fall into the trap of seeing these traits months or even years into a relationship when they're already emotionally invested, financially committed, or even married. By then, walking away feels impossible. So the real skill is learning to spot these signs in the very beginning, before you give your time, heart, and energy to someone who doesn't deserve it. Let's start with something simple. Pay attention to her conversation style. When you meet her, does she talk more about people or more about ideas? A low-value woman will almost always gossip about others. She'll share rumors, criticize her friends, and complain about exes. This is one of the earliest indicators because you can spot it on the very first date. If her words are filled with negativity, blame, and constant judgment of other people, it's only a matter of time before she directs that same energy toward you. A high-value woman, on the other hand, speaks about her passions, her goals, her lessons learned, and meaningful experiences. She lifts the conversation up, not down. Next, look at how she treats strangers. Watch her with waiters, with drivers, with people she doesn't gain anything from. A low-value woman is often rude, dismissive, or entitled. She believes the world owes her something. This is crucial because it shows how she views people at their core. If she cannot respect a stranger, eventually she won't respect you either. On the flip side, a high-value woman treats everyone with dignity because her self-worth is not dependent on status or position. She knows respect reflects her own character, not the other person's. Another powerful way to spot low value is through consistency. In the beginning, anyone can put on a mask. She might act sweet, humble, or respectful just to win you over, but masks slip. That's why you have to pay attention over time. How does she act when she doesn't get her way? Does she pout, throw tantrums, or try to manipulate you. A woman's true value reveals itself in moments of conflict, not comfort. A low-value woman cannot maintain composure under pressure because she hasn't built inner discipline. She reacts emotionally, without control, and her response is always about short-term feelings rather than long-term growth. That's why patience is your best weapon. Don't rush into commitments. Time always exposes value. Now let's flip the perspective. Why do so many men end up with low-value women in the first place? The answer is painful, but necessary, because they themselves are not operating as high-value men. A low-value woman cannot thrive unless you allow her to. If you're desperate, lacking boundaries, or afraid to be alone, you'll tolerate behaviors you should never accept. You'll excuse the disrespect, the drama, the manipulation, all because you don't want to lose her. But here's the truth. Losing a low-value woman is not a loss. It's a blessing. The only reason it feels painful is because you haven't raised your own standards yet. When you elevate yourself, you won't even be attracted to women who drain you. Your mindset won't allow it. This is where stoicism and self-mastery come into play. A man who controls his emotions, lives with discipline, and values his own peace will instantly see through the tactics of a low-value woman. He won't chase beauty at the cost of sanity. He won't compromise his values for temporary pleasure. He understands that his time, energy, and attention are resources more valuable than money, and he won't give them away cheaply. If you truly want to avoid low-value women, you must first commit to becoming a high-value man yourself. That's the shield that protects you from every trap. Let's go deeper into the traits of low-value women and how they manifest over time. We spoke earlier about lack of ambition, but here's what that looks like day to day. She spends hours scrolling on social media, idolizing celebrities, comparing herself to others, yet taking no steps toward her own growth. She may talk about goals, but there's no action. Years pass, and she's in the same place, blaming life, circumstances, or other people. This stagnation is contagious. If you're with her, you'll notice your own drive starts to fade, your focus shifts, and you begin accepting mediocrity as normal. A low-value woman doesn't just fail to move forward, she actively slows you down. Another trait is unhealthy dependence. Instead of being supportive, she becomes clingy, controlling, and insecure. She constantly needs validation, reassurance, and attention. At first, you might see this as cute or as a sign of affection, but over time, it becomes suffocating. She will resent your ambitions, sabotage your focus, and demand that your world revolve around her. A high-value woman understands the importance of space and independence in a relationship. She's secure in herself, and she encourages you to pursue your goals. But a low-value woman views your growth as a threat because it reminds her of her own lack of progress. Now, let's address something uncomfortable: beauty. Many men ignore the red flags of low-value women simply because they are physically attractive, but beauty without character is a trap. A stunning face can hide manipulation. A perfect body can mask toxic behavior. If you only judge a woman by her looks, you're setting yourself up for failure. Remember this: beauty fades, but character remains. Ask yourself, if she lost her looks tomorrow, would you still respect her, admire her, and want her in your life? If the answer is no, then she's not truly valuable to you. She's a temporary distraction. Another subtle sign of a low-value woman is lack of gratitude. She takes without giving. No matter what you do, it's never enough. You could sacrifice your time, spend your money, and invest your energy, but instead of appreciation, you get entitlement. Gratitude is the foundation of respect. Without it, relationships become transactional, cold, and draining. A high-value woman recognizes effort, no matter how small, and she makes you feel seen and appreciated. A low-value woman ignores effort and demands more. This will slowly destroy your spirit if you allow it. So what's the solution? How do you protect yourself? First, by setting clear boundaries. Boundaries are not about controlling others. They're about controlling yourself. They're the line that says, this is what I accept and this is what I don't. If she disrespects you, walks all over you, or refuses to change toxic behavior, your boundary must be strong enough to walk away. Men who lack boundaries end up trapped with low-value women because they keep hoping things will improve. But hope without action is weakness. Respect yourself enough to leave when your standards are not met. Second, focus on alignment. Don't just choose a woman because she looks good or makes you feel good in the moment. Choose based on values, mindset, and long-term compatibility. Ask yourself, does she want growth? Does she respect herself? Does she bring peace into my life? If the answer is no, then she's not the right woman. Attraction might get you into a relationship, but alignment is what sustains it. Without alignment, you're just signing up for chaos. Finally, remember this. A woman's value doesn't determine your worth. Your standards do. You are the gatekeeper of your life. You decide who gets access. If you raise your standards, low-value women will naturally filter themselves out because they won't be able to meet them. But if you lower your standards, you'll find yourself constantly dealing with drama, manipulation, and disrespect. The choice is always yours. Now, as we move into the final part, we'll take everything we've covered, the signs, the early warnings, the solutions, and we'll bring it together with practical steps you can start applying today. Because knowledge without action is useless. It's not enough to know about low-value women. You need to know how to protect yourself, elevate your life, and position yourself to attract high-value women who make your life better, not worse. We've come a long way breaking down the signs of a low-value woman, and now, in this final part, it's time to go deeper. Because spotting red flags is just the first step. The real transformation happens when you know how to protect yourself, how to set the right standards, and how to position yourself so that low-value women can't even enter your life in the first place. That's the difference between a man who constantly suffers in relationships and a man who thrives in them. Let's begin with a brutal truth. A low-value woman cannot exist in your life unless you allow her to. She only has as much space as you give her. Many men think they are unlucky in love, but luck has nothing to do with it. If you keep entertaining women who disrespect you, gossip, bring chaos, or drain your energy, then you are part of the problem. You've chosen to tolerate what should have been cut off from the beginning. Remember, a man's silence in the face of disrespect is an invitation for more disrespect. So how do you stop this cycle? It begins with mindset. A high-value man knows his worth, and because he knows his worth, he doesn't give away his attention cheaply. Attention is one of the most valuable currencies you have as a man. A low-value woman thrives when you hand it out freely, especially if she hasn't earned it. But when you redirect that attention toward your mission, your goals, your fitness, your finances, and your peace, something powerful happens. You stop chasing women and start attracting them. And the ones you attract are usually better quality, because women sense when a man is truly in control of himself. Let's make this practical. Imagine you meet a woman who is physically stunning. She has everything you thought you wanted on the outside. But very quickly, you notice that she interrupts you when you speak, she constantly complains, and she speaks badly about her friends behind their backs. Now here's the test. Most men ignore those signs because they are blinded by beauty. But the high-value man does not ignore them. He knows beauty without character is poison wrapped in gold. He knows that a low-value woman's bad habits will eventually eat away at his peace. And so he does what most men are afraid to do. He walks away early. That's the first principle. Don't let beauty blind you. A low-value woman uses her looks as leverage because she knows most men are too weak to resist it. But the truth is, looks fade. Character doesn't. A woman who is stunning but toxic will drain you far faster than an average-looking woman with peace, respect, and loyalty. If you keep that principle in your mind, you'll already be 10 steps ahead of most men. The second principle is patience. Low-value women are experts at putting on a mask in the beginning. They can seem charming, loving, even supportive, but masks always slip with time. That's why rushing into commitment is one of the most dangerous mistakes a man can make. Too many men are quick to call a woman the one after a few weeks of chemistry. But chemistry is not character. Time reveals character. If you give it months instead of days, you'll begin to see how she reacts under pressure when things don't go her way, or when she doesn't get what she wants. That's when the truth comes out. Patience protects you from falling for the mask. Now let's talk about emotional control. This is where Stoicism comes into play. Low-value women thrive on emotional chaos. They test you, they provoke you, they try to pull you into drama because it gives them a sense of control. If you react, if you shout, beg, chase, or sulk, you've already lost. You've given her the power to dictate your emotions, but the high-value man remains calm. He doesn't suppress emotions. He manages them. He understands that calmness in the face of chaos is strength. And here's the hidden secret. Women, even low-value women, respect a man they cannot emotionally control. That calmness either forces her to adjust her behavior, or it makes her leave because she can't manipulate you. Either way, you win. Another area where low-value women reveal themselves is money. And this is where many men fall into traps. A low-value woman sees a man as a wallet, not a partner. She measures love by how much he spends, not how much he cares. She feels entitled to gifts, trips, and endless attention without offering peace, respect, or support in return. And too many men think providing financially is the same as creating value. It's not. Providing is good. In fact, it's natural for men to want to give. But when you provide for someone who only takes, you're not being generous, you're being used. A high-value woman will appreciate what you do and contribute in her own way, through support, loyalty, and respect. A low-value woman will drain you and then still complain. That's why you must always test a woman's gratitude before investing deeply. And then we come to boundaries. Boundaries are like a shield. They reveal who respects you and who doesn't. The moment you set a boundary, watch her reaction. If you tell her you won't tolerate yelling, manipulation, or disrespect, and she pushes back, mocks you, or ignores you, she's telling you who she is. A high-value woman will respect boundaries because she has her own. A low-value woman will constantly test them, trying to bend your will to hers. And here's the mistake most men make. They set boundaries but don't enforce them. If you draw a line and then allow it to be crossed, you're teaching her that your words mean nothing. Boundaries without consequences are just suggestions. If you want to filter out low-value women, you must have the courage to enforce consequences. And sometimes that consequence is walking away. Now let's flip the coin. What should you actually look for in a high-value woman? Because knowing what to avoid is one thing, but knowing what to pursue is even more powerful. A high-value woman is emotionally stable. She brings peace instead of chaos. She respects your time, supports your goals, and doesn't compete with your mission. She aligns with it. She's secure in herself, so she doesn't constantly need validation from every man who looks her way. She has gratitude, humility, and discipline. She doesn't drain your energy, she multiplies it. But here's the catch. You won't recognize a high-value woman if you haven't worked on yourself first. If you're living without purpose, if you're ruled by lust, if you lack discipline, you'll keep attracting low-value women because you're operating at their level. That's why the foundation of attracting high-value women always begins with becoming a high-value man. Build your body, sharpen your mind, grow your resources, and most importantly, develop emotional control. When you do, your entire energy changes. And women, especially high-value women, pick up on that instantly. Now let's address the hardest truth. Many men stay with low-value women out of comfort. Maybe you've invested years. Maybe you share history. Maybe you're afraid of starting over. So you stay, even though deep down, you know she's not good for you. That's not loyalty. That's fear disguised as love. Comfort is the enemy of growth. Walking away may hurt for a moment, but staying with the wrong woman will hurt for a lifetime. Ask yourself, would you rather face the short-term pain of letting go or the long-term suffering of staying stuck? The answer should be obvious. Let me give you one more perspective. Think of your life as a kingdom. You are the king. Now imagine letting someone into that kingdom who disrespects the land, disrespects the people, and disrespects you. Would you let her stay just because she looks good? Of course not. You'd protect your kingdom. Yet too many men guard their cars, their homes, even their phones more than they guard their peace. A low-value woman can destroy your focus, your finances, and your future faster than anything else. But the right woman, the high-value woman, can multiply your strength, bring peace to your kingdom, and help you build legacy. The choice is always yours. Don't ever think women do all the choosing and men just wait. That's false. You are the gatekeeper of commitment. You decide who gets access to your world. The problem is most men hand out that access for free. They treat every woman like a queen, even when she hasn't earned it. Respect should be mutual, not automatic. If she doesn't show high-value qualities, don't treat her like she has. That's not chivalry, that's weakness. So here's the final roadmap. Step 1, master yourself. Step 2, raise your standards. Step 3, take your time, let her character reveal itself. Step 4, enforce boundaries. Step 5, choose alignment, not just attraction. Step 6, protect your peace at all costs. If you do this, low-value women won't be able to stay in your life because they won't be able to survive in the atmosphere you create as a high-value man. Let me close with this. Relationships should elevate you. The wrong woman will distract, drain, and destroy. The right woman will inspire, support, and multiply. The difference between the two isn't luck, it's choice. And that choice begins with you. So don't settle. Don't compromise. Don't let fear of being alone keep you tied to the wrong person. Walking away from a low-value woman isn't losing. It's winning, because it clears the space for the right woman to come into your life. And until she does, you still win, because you'll have your peace, your mission, and your purpose intact. And that, my friend, is the true definition of power.